This is an ABP Live Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ladies First on ABP Live Podcasts, and I am your host Niharika Nanda. And today, yet again, I'm back with another girl boss of the 21st century, that is, of course, Seema Rekha ji. Hello ma'am, how are you?
I am good, Niharika. Thanks for having me there.
It's all my pleasure. Seema ji is a cognitive behavior therapist. She is also a leadership coach and a social entrepreneur. And she also has membership of the APA, that is the American Psychological Association. So, ma'am, you are a pioneer in the field of mental health, जो कि आजकल बहुत जिसके बारे में बात की जा रही है, and it is something जिसने lately, I think in the recent 4-5 years थोड़ी importance gain करी है, जबकि हो तो पहले जानी चाहिए थी, but अभी recently करी है, and you are a pioneer of the field. So, from your diverse educational background, you've studied management, you've been at IIM, TIS. How did you choose mental health, and why did you choose the field of mental health to work in?
Thanks, Niharika. This is my favorite question to answer. Like any woman or any person, time to time, even in my student life, I felt the need of someone who's there, to whom we can go directly, and the person who is not judging us, accepting us, understanding us. That need was very much there. And as I grew, and after my management, I worked in a management consultancy where I used to love my work a lot. I enjoy working. I'm very workaholic. But that stress, work stress, that inability to balance between home and work, other aspects of life, your dear ones are unwell, but your work is also important for you.
Exactly.
These all very, very small challenges which hit us on day-to-day basis. And we keep ignoring in the name of being a strong woman.
Right.
Somewhere we want to, carry ourselves, that burden on our own shoulder. And then one fine day, I realized that I myself was very stressed with handling multiple things at home and multiple things at work. One day I took a bath twice. I was ready for my work and I forgot that I am ready for work, and I switched on my shower again. And I was all wet. My expensive watch got wet. My shoes were wet. And then I asked myself. Then I asked myself, I haven't gone to these good colleges. I have studied so far to take bath twice for no reason.
That too with everything on.
And everything is fine. Superficially, whoever will look at my life, it is everything is fine. And then that was, of course, there was a deep. I must say there was a calling always to help people, because I enjoy that a lot. But I never thought it will be my career. That was always something which you do out of compassion and empathy, but you never think that you will build a career out of it and helping others to make this career. So that was, I think, the biggest trigger which allowed me to study back.
Right.
And then I enrolled myself in Institute of Counseling Glasgow, and I learned about it. And thankfully my leaders, my bosses were always used to say that you have that, empathetic bent in your mind, which is very good for leadership, but at the same time you may pursue something in, coaching or counseling.
Right.
So then, their encouragement was there, and I studied. Then one of my seniors, he's a psychiatrist, he also encouraged me that, in India, mental health around 10 years, 15 years back was highly unstructured.
Not at all, right.
He encouraged me to build awareness about it, and you should talk about it. So in 2013, I founded Antarmanh, and then I started building awareness about the importance of mental well-being.
Right.
At corporates, at schools, at NGOs, whatever the organization, whoever was ready to talk about mental well-being. I spent around 3 years for building awareness.
Right.
Then after 3 years, people had started understanding the importance of mental well-being at workplace as well, and reaching out to parents was also easier to go through corporates.
Right.
Because in a school you are limited to children, and people think talking about mental disorder is mental health.
Yeah, but the things are much beyond that actually.
So my idea was to be in this side of borderline, in a preventive side of borderline of mental health, instead of
सिचुएशन को डिसऑर्डर तक
जाने ही दिया जाए. So that mindset was always there with me. And gradually, organization started value of mental well-being, because there were only helplines available, which if you see the utility of helpline is, first, it is very minimal. Secondly, it is not effective. So I was ready to provide wellness services on low cost at workplace premises. So organizations welcome this idea. And gradually, once I was there, I was conducting awareness session, and that that culture of wellness started coming in organization, and whoever was the conscious organization, they start coming to us and invited us, and gradually your client base increased. This really helped us to reach out to deep root, once we are doing wellness with the same organization, we were able to do CSR also. Then we involved going to grassroots level and building awareness about mental well-being. That was very motivating. People were very receptive and very supportive. So that was really pretty motivating, which so many good people keep coming in our organization as a team, and we could build more and more impact over the years. And now we are in 13 countries, entire Southeast Asia we are covering. And we are providing our wellness services all around on site, and that's how the journey has been.
That is great. And but like you talked about, just say 10-15 years earlier, people weren't really aware about the entire concept of mental health, let alone talking or working towards it. So when you started, did you find any challenges that people were hesitant, or organizations didn't want to spend money on something like mental health? Was that the case?
It was so difficult, Niharika. Now I look back after 10 years. It was so difficult. The people made me wait at reception. I used to stand for an hour for an appointment with senior leadership in organization to make them understand that why is this importance is there, and then people are not turning up. Those who actually need us, they are very hesitant to come.
I think till date that is an issue.
So fighting with that social, first the senior leadership understanding of importance of mental health. Second issue was fighting with that social stigma, because once organization is investing, they want some return on investment.
Absolutely.
People are not coming, then it was
हमने फालतू में कोई एक नया शोशा ले लिया and
it is not working.
Exactly.
So then we have to change our way. We worked a lot to reduce social stigma related to mental well-being. Then I started FOC work, was so much. I conducted group sessions, which is not about mental disorders. It is about how you can enhance, how you can maximize your life beautifully, and that people got motivated. They start coming to us, and that's where the word of mouth spread, and people started believing,
okay, it is making a difference and we can feel better. Because I think a common thing जो hustle culture ने कर दिया ना, is that you constantly have to keep on working. But the consequence or the side effect of it is that you will constantly also be in stress, because if you're working, then you're also managing your house, you're managing your expenses, हर चीज में. Where is the time to sort of relax, unwind, and not think about anything?
That's I think this absolutely your generation. I don't think so. They even know how to handle their free time.
Absolutely. Every time they are on phones.
They are always doing something. If you have even 10-15 minutes without anything, you feel depressed and bored.
Exactly.
And that's what you are noticing in even the new generation as well. They keep coming. I'm getting bored.
Right. I remember the time when I used to be in school. एक टाइम होता था जब एक 2-3 घंटे हमने टीवी देखना है, इतने घंटे पढ़ाई करनी है, रेस्ट, बाहर जाओ, खेलो, फ्रेंड्स से मिलो. There used to be so many different activities, and खाली बैठना was not tough. These days sitting idle is an issue, because you feel कि पता नहीं कितनी overthinking start हो जाएगी, पता नहीं हम क्या क्या सोचने लग जाएंगे. मतलब एक ये भी स्टिग्मा बन चुका है कि भाई खाली बैठेंगे तो वो problematic situation होगी हमारे लिए.
We have been living in a place where we are associating our self-worth with what we are doing.
Right.
What kind of salaries are we drawing? What is our address? What car are we driving?
Right.
So once we, look at our self-worth, then we only keep minimizing.
Right.
You don't even know which car I have.
Right,
And
exactly.
even then, I'm not going to give you in any case.
Right.
So you will only remember how I am talking to
Right.
you.
The time we spend
Yes,
together with
spending
each other.
together.
Exactly.
So that self-worth concept has changed a lot, and it's so gradual. We cannot blame anybody. It is so gradual. It came into air. Once you buy a bigger car, you also feel good about it. There is a sense of accomplishment.
Exactly.
But you are not your car. We have forgotten.
Right. You are not your car. You're not your job. You're not your salary. You are you.
You are not even your marriage.
Right.
Not many people keep going through a very, very difficult time because they associate their identity with all external factors in their lives.
Right. Exactly.
Grades.
Grades. Exactly. Organize the institutions that they're studying at.
Institutions. Exactly.
That is the problem. So, Seema ji, in this point, the kind of rat race-like world that we are living in, what is exactly mental health? If I say that I am a person who is healthy mental health-wise, what does that mean?
So mental health in this current situation where we are, if we go back and if you see people, people sometimes think being compassionate is a reflection of my good mental well-being, or if I'm not having any physical ailment, then it's a mental well-being. I think mental well-being starts from how are you feeling about yourself first.
Okay.
If you're feeling good about yourself, then you can claim that you are doing little better. In this world where we are living, I feel the biggest pandemic which we are going to face, or indeed it is very much here, we are not talking about this. Loneliness, we all feel it inside.
Right.
Despite having many friends, many family, parents are around, colleagues are good, we are earning well, we have good cars, we are staying in good societies and good cities, but deep inside we all feel very, very
Alone. Right.
And this loneliness is nothing but an outcome of lack of self-awareness. The day we start understanding self, this loneliness goes away.
Right.
So I think that is once you understand and you increase your social quotient. Now from IQ to EQ, now social quotient decides whether you are happy or not, because you are so much dependent on
other people around you.
And top of that, you think they are judging you, but in return you are also judging them. You are also not liking them. You are trying hard to fit in a group or something that makes you lonelier.
Right.
You feel more lonely. You feel more out of the place, and that's where you keep struggling. What I'm doing, self-doubt comes, then overthinking comes, and then you go into that shell.
Right.
So I think the beginning of mental well-being starts from self-awareness and then understanding of our environment, which in general we talk about emotional intelligence. Once we start actually understanding it, grasping it and practicing it, then we can say, yes, I'm in a journey of attaining my mental well-being.
Right.
Because it's a process.
It's a process, right? ये भी बहुत बड़ा question mark है that it is something that we have already, but it's actually not. It's a process that we have to reach there.
We have to reach there.
And talking about mental well-being, like a regular stress, so I think we all face with our jobs, with college, school, exams, this and that. हर चीज में किसी न किसी को stress होता है. So what are your tips for people out there who are feeling regular basis का stress to sort of unwind and to improve their mental well-being? What are the things that you would like to suggest in such cases?
First, we have to accept wherever we are. That is the best thing for us. It has to be like this only. So first, once you accept it, and then only you can plan it. Once you plan and organize your day in a beautiful way, understanding that work life, what you think 9 to 5 cannot be your work hours.
Right.
You have to accept. 8 to 12 cannot be your school hours. If you're a student, you have to plan your day. If you are working, you have to plan a day. If you are a mother, you have to plan a day. Once you plan a day, you will know what are your productive hours. If
Right.
you're a student, you know what are my productive study hours. If you are working, you know I'm a morning person, I'm afternoon, or I am energetic at evening. We all know that.
Right.
And then we can plan when we have to do, cognitive work, when we have to do little operational work. This all helps us to plan our day, to understand our energy throughout the day.
Right.
And expecting that day will go as per my wish, it will never happen.
That will never happen.
So bring that flexibility also. Plan your day, but give a budget of flexibility also there. And we cannot deny the importance of physical exercise in our life.
Absolutely.
Physical exercise and right diet can really minimize the risk of mental well-being. Because our body respond according to the environment.
Right.
If we make it a practice in a beautiful way, then our body will also say thank you to us.
Exactly.
So these are very few small things. With work, we cannot do 1 hour workout. I completely understand.
Right.
But we can do 20 minutes walk thrice a day.
Distributing it during the entire day.
Exactly. Same, we cannot have very healthy food, at office or something, but we can always carry detox waters with us.
Right.
Whatever we are eating, if it is not helping us, at least it will drain out from us.
Right.
Third, I think we have to change self-talk too.
Yeah, that is very important.
Whatever we are talking, whatever we are eating, whatever we are doing in our life, if we change our narratives in our mind, I think even everything will work in our favor.
Right, absolutely. And talking about you, and you have been to such amazing institutions from IIM to TIS. So college life is one part of our life, jo matlab we all feel it is the best part of the entire lifetime of ours. So any fun incident or any memorable incident or anecdote that you would like to share with us from your days at IIM or maybe TIS?
So in IIMs, what happens? Every student go for internship in summers. There are very few research students who stay on campus.
Right.
So I'm very scared of dark, by the way. So there was a chai ki tapri kind of place. So we just went from a back door, which was not allowed to at night. Me and my friends to chai place, and I was just scared. So we all planned that we'll run. So my friends started saying 1, 2, 3, and we were supposed to run. None of them started. It's me alone who was running on the dark street, and that was really very scary and funny. But once I got to know nobody is there, I actually ran faster and reached the hostel. So I think that is still a very scary moment for me whenever I think of. But yes, now I really look back and I enjoy each moment there.
Right, absolutely. College में there are always such moments ना जो हमेशा याद रह जाते हैं, no matter the amount of years that pass beyond that.
And I was really very innocent once the first day at mess, coming from a very small town, going to such a big B school. I was feeling very lonely and shy and inhibited.
Right.
So I didn't know what is the procedure of having food in the mess. So there was a guy who was bringing parathas. He might have kept 2-3 parathas in his plate. I thought he's serving parathas.
Oh.
So without even looking at him, I just went to him. मैंने उसकी plate से अपनी plate में 2 पराठे रखे. And I came back and I still don't know who was he. It's been around 10-12 years. I don't even know who was he, but he was so generous. He didn't stop me. And I ate paratha and I came back. I still don't know who was he.
Oh God! Thank God you don't know. अगर he would have questioned you, so that would have been so embarrassing.
So embarrassing in front of all. So I don't remember you, but if you're listening, so thank you so much for that day.
Okay, so since I said that, let's talk about you. Again, I'm sure that you also have your stressful days. You also have days when you're just like कि बस यार नहीं हो रहा. So in that time, how do you spend your time? How do you feel better? What is your formula for me time, as far as you are concerned?
I don't know how to stay alone. Life never gave me that chance that I can stay alone. I'm always surrounded with people. So I think first I love my work. So I can't say there's too much of work or I'm tired because I enjoy it.
Right.
But yes, there are days I have 2 young children. So first I definitely love being with my kids. So I keep playing with my younger one, and I love teaching to my elder one. But beside that, I think meditation is something which is, that's a very huge practice. I think walking, even I do walking meditations. So
Achha,
in a day,
okay.
I do it 3-4 times. But other than that, I love socializing with people. I love playing golf. I love biking and field.
Wow,
I love adventure. I love meditation. So I think I love exploring new things very much. Meeting new people is very common. I think on an average, I meet new people around 30 to 40 people every week. So
Wow.
that gives me, always on the go.
Right, that is your adrenaline.
Yes.
I know, even I am that kind of a person that
Yes.
I love meeting people, talking to them, and that is what sort of keeps me intact. Okay, this is my fun thing. This is what I like doing. So you are a biker.
Yes.
That is amazing. How did that happen? Like, how did your interest in biking sort of
I
come
was
about?
very young. Since then, I'm coming from Jhansi. Jhansi is a place which is, highly women-oriented city because of Jhansi ki Rani.
Okay.
It's a very empowered. Women
Right.
are very empowered there. So I started biking. I think I actually didn't knew how to ride bicycle. I got my first kinetic Honda when I was in grade 7th.
Okay.
And then bike, I think I started after 12. And then my friends have bikes, so we used to ride. And then my husband is also a biker, so that's a plus
So you
point.
are a full-on khatron ke khiladi.
I think life is too short to regret on things.
Right.
I encourage my children also explore. So it's not even if they exams, I ensure that if there is a family gathering, cousins are coming, I ask them to enjoy because I'm in my 10th and 12th grades are not adding anything new in my life.
Right.
So we should prioritize what we are looking in the moment.
Absolutely, and plus, again, unwinding is also very important. Like my
Yes.
sister right now, she's in 12th standard, she's giving her boards right now.
Wow.
So I understand the importance of unwinding and how important it is to just not study for a while and relax. Take some time out.
And probably I think children should be self-responsible.
They
Everybody
should
should
be.
be self-responsible.
Right.
We get confused between routine and discipline. So
Right.
at that time that confusion comes in.
Exactly. So you said that you also have 2 young children.
Mhm.
So a question that I ask all my guests on Ladies First is that usually for men it is work-life balance. For women it is work-life-home balance. So how do you maintain that?
So I believe in delegating and empowering people around me. So as I made my children also very empowered since
Right.
their young age. I help them to understand what they want so that they can express explicitly what exactly they are looking in the moment. So and top of that they should be equipped to manage their lives without anybody.
Right.
They should be
Right.
independent. So my both kids, now the younger one is 10, but they are able to cook their breakfast.
Oh, that's great.
And you only have to give them right tools. So induction is there, so they can cook without getting the fear of fire is
Burning or
not
something
there.
of that
That is
sort.
there.
Right.
They can use air fryer, and so that's where I help them how they can organize their day, how to keep their clothes. So that organizational skills I taught them at a very early age.
Right.
Now they are doing or not, that's a different thing because they are children. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Right.
But they know. So that's what more important. That
Right.
what are they supposed to do when
In a situation
mama
where
is not
exactly
around?
where mama is not there, even papa is not there, they can manage. That is the
So
mistake.
probably once parents are there, all children fight with each other. When parents are not there, so they take care of each other.
Yes, that is
Like
very
all
true.
siblings, so that's the positive part.
That is very true. This happens with me and my sister also. We are very cordial when our parents are not around, but in front of our parents, we are fighting a lot. So this does happen. So basically, delegating is the key here.
Yeah,
that-
so preparing them for future because of course after 12 once they go hostel, I am not going to go.
Yeah,
over time.
exactly. They have to
They
live on
have
their
to-
own.
They have to understand this.
Right.
And life, if parents don't teach children life skill, once life teaches life is that is really tough. So we have to sometimes obviously we have to bring the balance between toughness and kindness with children, but we have to give them exposure to all such situations which may fall into
Right.
in their way while they are growing.
Exactly, and plus I think Indian parents also have this innate need to be एकदम pampering towards their kids कि मैं कर दूँ, मैं इनके लिए कर दूँ. They shouldn't be in a situation where they have to do anything on their own. But we also need to understand that that's okay till maybe a certain age.
So that's very interesting aspect also, Niharika. The power of Indian parents of doing for their children makes them ageless. They are ready to restart at any point of their life for their children.
Absolutely.
So that helps them to maintain their mental well-being also.
Right.
They socialize because they want to meet their kids' friends.
Right, exactly.
So in a way it's very good also for them. But yes, we have to give certain, freedom to our children.
To our children as well. I think that is very important, and that is also a place where Indian parents sort of lack also. I feel that freedom is a very rebellious concept for them as far as their kids are concerned. I mean, that is what I went through with my parents.
But I am also known as a rebellious child at my home, but now they are proud of me.
Right, exactly. उस moment पे it is tough, but once it's done, it's done. Then even they are fine with it.
Actually, parents they love their children a lot. That's where
Right.
they fear. It's not that they are against of their children. They are very fearful. That I will not be able to protect my child.
Exactly.
So
That
that
is the
love
thing.
does not allow them to do. But I think as a parent, we should believe that whatever the value system they are giving to our children, it will remain with them.
Right.
Irrespective they are showing tantrum and are sounding rebellious. But they will never go against the family values which we give to them.
Exactly. As long as the trust is there, I think parents can also be कि ठीक है, इतनी freedom दे दो, because again they also have to grow in their own lives.
They have to.
That is very important.
And how long you can chase.
Right.
Especially in this internet era, you
cannot.
You are very helpless.
Exactly. So talking about families and talking about mental health. So there is the organization that you are related to. You are a member of APA. So can you tell us a little about that?
APA is a global organization, American Psychological Association, and it is a most reputed organization globally. It gives membership funds. You have to show your credential. You have to show your good work there. Whatever you are doing this, there are n kinds of membership you can attain. There's so many courses also. There's a continue educations keep going. Every day there is something. The new protocols, the best practices which is required for any country. So that association is highly important for any psychologist or any counselor to be a member. And I think it's a paid one, but I think it is an annual membership one has to take. But it gives you so much of resources to go back whenever you feel stuck. See, in our case, we feel stuck with the laws, the country laws, or we don't know what to do. We are working with corporates. We don't know whose ownership is this. This is my ownership. It is a clinician's ownership, or it is HR ownership. In such situation, being a part of APA. Discussing our mentors there, it really gives us some guidelines and best practices to build in the space of mental well-being.
And how is it like working towards mental health?
So ideally it is an American organization and American clinicians get their numbers and they practice there. For anybody who is not an American resident, they give them annual membership and it is actually not related with in India, for example, RCI is there, but RCI is limited to rehabilitations and all. So APA is the only body where the counseling clinicians can go and register themselves and keep learning them, because there are so many small courses which if you are a member you get some discount on that and you can go through those upcoming. For example, suddenly COVID came. None of us were equipped with the COVID psychology and COVID counseling. So APA immediately started a course. All of us got enrolled and learned about it. So there are different ethics for online sessions. Earlier we were doing face to face. Now it's
but
online.
COVID has now brought in this entire online phase into everything.
Yeah, so there is these best practices, whether we are doing ethically, lawfully or not, it is very important to know. Right, so this body really helps. It gives you guidelines how to operate in your space with ethics and trust for your counseling.
Right. In fact, APA, I only remember from my 12th standard. I was a psychology student back in school. So I remember, like, the only recollection is of the fact that all the tests that we used to do during our entire process. So tests, say, I don't mean exams. I mean the psychological tests. Assessments. The psychological assessments that we used to do, they were all they were all given out by APA. Like, APA was, if a test has been assessed by APA, तो मतलब it was like at par. इससे better कोई चीज नहीं है. So that is what I wanted to know कि तब तो of course understanding नहीं थी कि ठीक है कुछ देख लेंगे, but now I was really curious कि है क्या चीज, पता तो पहले exactly. And what better than a member herself to tell me about that. So something that again ladies first का एक common agenda रहता है whenever we talk to new women. We want to know is that have you ever faced in your entire career a situation where you felt that there was some gender bias or somewhere you felt that maybe I am a woman, that is why I am facing this situation. Had it been a man, तो उसको इतनी problem नहीं होती.
That's a very lovely question, Niharika, and I will be answering it with brutal honesty. I never felt it, not because the environment was happening. I never felt it because I never felt like a weak woman.
Right.
I always saw myself as a person, so gender could not,
be one of the
overpower me.
Right.
So
right.
I can say this is my personal individual strength, that I always saw myself as a person, not as a woman that are weaker or little lower. But of course we cannot deny gender biases are there.
Right.
But for a woman it is so important to look beyond that. Do not restrict over by assuming that it will be there. It will be there. Have you heard that story in childhood, the red hen? The situation of a women entrepreneur is like that only. You go to people, you ask for help. Nobody comes while you were sowing the seed.
Right,
Nobody comes
right.
where you wanted to just cultivate the crop. Nobody was there once you grinding the grains. Nobody was there once you are baking cake. But once you are successful, people are there.
Right.
And accept this and pat your back and feel proud that you have done it all alone.
on your own.
So
Exactly.
it should not be the reason of your pain.
Right.
Rather, it should be a reason for your pride.
Right.
So
rightly
pat
said,
your
actually.
back. All women or even men, every single person will face some challenges in your life.
Right.
But have faith in yourself, and I think no one can stop you.
Right. So basically, it is you against the world, whether you are a man or a woman. And even as a woman, there might be some extra challenges, but then again, you have to. If you are sort of working towards your passion, then you have to go against it, and you have to sort of
Exactly. See,
meet yourself.
Even world is not putting pressure. You cannot hold your own heart. You can't hold the love for your children. You
Right.
cannot be stress free. You
Right.
cannot be anxiety free once your children are away from you.
Exactly.
You feel consistent guilt is there that I'm not there with them. I'm not there with them. So that will be there,
Right.
but you have to come out of it because you are a role model for your own children.
Right.
So don't
Right.
restrict your life because of your emotional blockages.
Right. And I think that is a very, again, seeing working women, seeing women entrepreneurs, seeing women working in different fields, I think we are creating a different narrative कि हम लोग जैसे हमसे पहले की जो जनरेशन होती थी वो देखते थे सिर्फ पापा काम करने जाते हैं, मम्मी घर पे होती है. But that is, I don't think that is the case now, because even children are saying that, seeing our moms are also going there, they are working, whether they are entrepreneurs, whether they have jobs, whatever they are doing.
Exactly.
But as long as they are also earning for the house, they are not just working in the house, and even if they are, that is also good enough. But they are seeing a difference in narrative, so automatically even the boys who are now growing, seeing that, they also think hopefully that a woman is not any less. If she is earning more than me, then she's also working towards it.
And world is also changing.
Hmm.
A lot many women restrict themselves because they don't ask for help.
Right. ये बहुत बड़ा
Learn
so many
asking
people.
help. People
Right.
are there to help you.
Right.
मैक्सिमम लोग मना कर देंगे इससे ज्यादा तो कुछ नहीं होगा. But not asking for help is not a wise idea.
Right. There are so many women on this podcast itself have said the same thing, that women feel like कि we shouldn't ask for help, but I think in a lot of points, and especially I would say in mental health, asking for help is one of the key ways to sort of get out of the situation which you are in. So I think that is very important.
That is very, very important.
Thank you so much, Seema ji, for joining me today and talking about mental health, talking about women in general, and it was such a great pleasure to talk to you.
It's likewise, Niharika. I enjoy talking to you more. So that's a lovely conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Keep listening to Ladies First on ABP Live Podcasts.